Howdy ho! It is so good to see you guys. My name is Jojo Ma, and today we're going to take a look at Marvelous's latest Story of Seasons title, Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar. Now, I need to preface this with the fact that although I've played these games since like 2001-ish, I did not play many of the DS or handheld titles because I just didn't have a DS for a long time. I didn't have a lot of the Game Boys, honestly. I know, I'm a horrible 90s kid. But these are great games that have set the precedent for how we play farming sims or relaxing or cozy games today. Games such as the original Harvest Moon on the SNES, Harvest Moon Game Boy, Harvest Moon 64, Harvest Moon Game Boy Color, which is an upgraded port of Harvest Moon Game Boy, Harvest Moon 2 and 3 for Game Boy Color. Lots of games. But my first run at Harvest Moon, now known as Story of Seasons, was with Harvest Moon Back to Nature on PlayStation. After my introduction to that game, let me tell you, I was hooked. I played the Game Boy Advance titles that we've already seen remastered for the Nintendo Switch, which is Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town and Harvest Moon More Friends of Mineral Town. I also played Harvest Moon DS and DSQ, which were out of my comfort zone a little bit because I was not a huge handheld gamer, just wasn't. Big PlayStation girly back in my day. Marvelous now owns these games, and they just kept creatively popping them out for the handheld systems. Harvest Moon DS Island of Happiness, Harvest Moon DS Sunshine Islands. This brings us to Harvest Moon DS Grand Bazaar, along with other titles. Yada yada. So, this is where we're at now, remastering these games and porting them to modern consoles so that we can all enjoy them because they are great games and a lot of people are nostalgic about them because obviously they were popular for a long time for a reason. So, whatever your experience or entry into this game series, we can all agree that this is an exciting and beautiful time where Marvelous is still working hard to give us these timeless games that we love. One last thing I wanted to say before getting started. I do own Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar on my 3DS, but I don't have a great way of recording gameplay at the moment. So video used from the original game is not my own, and I will credit the poster on any video clips they produced. And lastly, these videos take a lot of time for me to make, and I work hard to make it something enjoyable for you, so if you haven't already, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more videos like this one.
Hello! Welcome to Zephyr Town!
Inspired by the handheld classic, Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar is coming to the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, as well as PC this August. In times past, Zephyr Town was beholden to visitors from all over the world for its Grand Bazaar, some might say. These days, the bazaar is no longer the giant it was known to be, and the mayor fears it will eventually dissolve if nothing improves. Mayor Felix asks you, a young farmer, to sell enough goods to level up the market and attract visitors from all over the world. Will you be the hero who restores Zephyr Town to its former glory? So where do we start? Luckily for you, there's an abandoned farm complete with a cute little cabin and connecting barn, a field for crops, a windmill, and even a beautiful pasture where your animals can graze without ever falling off the cliff. From the beginning, you can raise animals, farm crops and tree plants, and create artisan goods using the windmill and your kitchen. In the original game, you could choose to play as a female or male protagonist. In the remake, similar to Pioneers of Olive Town, whatever gender you choose, your protagonist character can be customized more robustly. Choose from different facial features, skin tones, tons of hairstyles, and lots of fun hair colors too. There are also customization options for clothing, headwear, and glasses with no restrictions to gender. You will also have customization options that come with DLC. Additionally, we can change our character's voice. There are 4 options for each gender. Of course, the voices are different in the Japanese version from the English version. I personally love the mayor's voice in both.
みんな、君のことを歓迎しているぞ。
I love the animals in this series, and it seems that the animals will also be getting a new look based on some cute videos and photos they've released. Originally, you could have chickens, cows, and sheep. It appears they've added alpacas too. And there are special types of sheep and cows, like the Jersey cow and the silky sheep. You could also get a horse later on, and could also have cats and dogs after you get enough barn animals. Here are the original pets.
Oh god. Here's our cat. We got a very smelly doghouse now. But hey, they are cute. We gotta give it that. I hope the game doesn't crash. It's like, I feel like that's a legitimate fear.
They actually do stuff in this game, like herd your animals so you don't have to wrangle them in and out of the barn. And I know that was an annoying part of the original game. I personally hate that as well. So it took way too long to get them back in the barn at the end of each day. So it's nice to have this option. There are new pet friends as well, and we only got to see a glimpse of a few of them in the videos, but they're similar to the ones from Story of Seasons Pioneers of Olive Town. The basics of farming is similar to others in the series, with echoes of A Wonderful Life. When you start the game, you have one field located to the south of your house. There are 2 other outdoor fields you can unlock with Wilbur's workshop at the Bazaar. Something really amazing about this game is there's a basement greenhouse expansion you can order from Wilbur. And what is even more cool is you can control the greenhouse season using magical sun items that control the climate conditions in the basement. Raul and Enrique's brother Diego sets up his shop once you reach the 75% Bazaar level. This is where you can purchase the suns. There was a preview of the basement greenhouse in the remake as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out. If you don't like watering your crops, be prepared for slower crop growth, because like in A Wonderful Life, the water retention rate is 10 hours. That means for maximizing growth rate, you'll need to water twice a day, preferably starting early in the morning. Another new feature of this game is that running through your crops will damage them. Using destructive tools like the axe, hammer, or hoe will also severely damage crops and lower their star rank. The landscape is beautifully remastered, and with new parasailing ability, we'll be able to explore the world in ways we've never been able to in these games before. The wind speed also influences your sail ability, of course. With higher wind speeds, you will sail faster, and it might become more difficult to fly in the direction you want to. In an interview with Gematsu, Story of Seasons manager Hikaru Nakano says, "Some of the key focuses of the game are the gliders and the windmills. But to touch a bit upon how the wind affects those things, depending on the strength of the wind, you can fly further on your glider compared to other days. The strength of the wind will also affect the speed of which your byproducts are processed through the windmill. So there are some dynamic influences in the gameplay systems based on the day-to-day changes to the wind." It's good to see that they're keeping those key aspects to make it a little more, I don't know, challenging, and like it makes the features of this game make sense. Another aspect ramped up in this game is the weather events. So the influence of events like typhoons, hurricanes, or snowstorms on your farm and daily life has been enhanced compared to past titles. They can of course cause a danger to your farm, but as long as you make preparations to deal with these incoming events, then you can mitigate or prevent any damage that you may face. So there are ways to interact with the wind in that way. It's also represented in the expression of the game. Like if you go outside on the day that a typhoon or hurricane, it might be quite difficult to be outside. I really enjoy having the day to just kind of, I guess it depends. I don't know. Sometimes hurricane weather or things that keep you inside kind of really sucks because you need to go buy something, or you need to go get that upgraded tool that day from the shop, and the next day it'll be closed or something like that. So it is inconvenient in that way. So it'll be nice to see that even though you can go outside, it's going to be really stormy and really difficult to be outside, which makes it a lot more fun if you ask me. One more way that the weather affects the game is that the day after a typhoon, there are many items that you can find on the ground that have either floated in or been uncovered. I think that means unrecovered. So you may be able to find more big rocks and stuff like that. So that's really cool too. It kind of brings a connectedness to the entire game, because a lot of these games, like, each day seems like something could happen the day before, the next day it just all starts over. And although in the past, like with storms and stuff, you do see damage or you do see items in your field that you can collect, but it's kind of cool that it goes farther than just your field and into the rest of the town. Many people are thrilled that there are still character portraits, and not only included but improved upon in the remake. They are animated in a way that reflects the transition from 2D to a 3D world, adding even more color and dimension to a beloved game in the series. They are also reintroducing the greet feature from Trio of Towns, where you can give a quick howdy to villagers and range as you run by.
Hi!
Greetings!
This is helpful for a busy farmer without much time for stopping to chat. Speaking of saying howdy, let's meet some familiar faces of Zephyr Town and beyond.
Zephyr Town certainly knows how to greet a new member.
From what I've seen, there will be 38 characters in this game, 12 of which are candidates for marriage. They're not the only marriage material. Know what I'm saying? We know of 6 bachelors and 6 bachelorettes you can look forward to falling in love with. You may know them by their original names, but many of these lovelies got a name change, so let's meet the ladies first. Meet my favorite gal so far, June.
And I realize I really do like this town.
Formerly known as Antoinette, June is a fashionable girl who seems to be a little less enthusiastic about living in Zephyr Town. She has a very striking appearance and reminds me of Dia from Hero of Leaf Valley. She does not seem to fit in with the country aesthetic of the villagers and is sort of a loner, but she also seems lonely without friends or much family. Maple is a cheerful waitress who moved from the city to work at the local inn. Many fans are referring to her as the new Daisy because her appearance has changed so much from her original look that she is almost unrecognizable. Originally from the city, she fell in love with the mountain town and got a job at the inn as a maid just so she could move there.
I took one step in this town and just knew I had to live here.
She has a cheerful personality and works through her mistakes. Known as Emiko in the original, Kagetsu is a mysterious woman who lives at the water shrine in the forest. Not much is known about her, honestly. She lives in seclusion and never ventures far, so she knows very little of the outside world and really enjoys your visits.
Hello there!
Freya is consistently referred to as a straightforward or serious person who might work a little too much. Maybe like most independent women, she's just very busy, so she ain't got time. She works in the city, so when she comes home to Zephyr Town, she hits up the nearby cafe for tea and relaxation.
Well then, I suppose I'll be seeing you around quite a bit.
Also like to say, she reminds me of Karen from Back to Nature. There's actually a fan theory out there that Karen is Freya's grandmother, or the opposite. Wait, Karen is Freya's grandmother? Something like that. Sophie, Sophie, who used to be Sherry, is a social leader in the town, perhaps given that she is the daughter of the mayor. She is ever joyful and helpful to others, making her well liked by the townsfolk. She often does many household chores for her busy father. Not too much is known about our new bachelorette, Diana. She has an intelligent and professional air about her from the little we get to see of her smart dress and how she speaks. Her zeal for making things be the best they can be will be Her zeal for making things the best they can will aid in her efforts as an agent in restoring Zephyr Town's bazaar to its former glory.
Someday, this bazaar will be the best in the world.
Again, not much is known about her or the newly established Bazaar Committee, but I am willing to bet it's probably just Diana and Felix giving encouraging talks to the villagers and monitoring growth. You can guess who the hype man is and who's monitoring growth.
Let us all do our part to breathe some life back into this bazaar and make it the grandest bazaar anyone's ever seen!
Now on to the bachelors. Samir, formerly known as Amir, is described as a mysterious man from a faraway place. He is a prince, but this is kept a secret from most of the village, for some reason. Except for you, for some reason. He is studious and devoted to his family, even visiting them every autumn. So he does disappear at the beginning of the game. At least in the old game. Gabriel, formerly known as Angelo, is a gentle-spirited artist who is often inspired by the natural beauty of Zephyrtown to complete beautiful paintings.
The scenery in this town is one of a kind.
The mayor often commissions paintings from him for the mansion. He is an encouraging friend who urges others to always try and isn't afraid to offer some technical assistance. Arata is a traveling martial artist attracted to the mountains of Zephyrtown where he trains to become stronger.
This is all a part of my training. Spending time in the mountains is good for the body and soul.
He appears to have a bold personality type with a caring and brotherly sort of affection to him.
You got guts taking on a tough job like that.
Many comments I've seen mention he's the only bachelor with facial hair. So if you like a good goatee and exposed muscly man arms, Arata might just be your guy. Formerly named Dirk, Derek is the friendly, energetic younger brother of Jules, or Ivan in the other game. He loves cooking for others and spends his time helping Joan and Marion at the Zephyr Cafe. Derek's older brother Jules travels to the city a few days a week to teach, and also spends time tutoring the twins Cindy and Lauren once a week. With their parents gone, Jules has taken it upon himself to learn all he can and teach Derek what he needs to be successful.
I suppose I'd say that I like the confident type.
Lloyd is a former world traveler who enjoys telling stories about his experiences and selling ores and gems he's acquired at the Bazaar. Don't be fooled by his serious demeanor, as he sometimes shows his attentive and sweet side.
You really wear your heart on your sleeve, don't you? Now, if you're done with the tea, you should get back to work. Far as I can tell, you're just as busy as the mayor.
When asked about romance in the new game, Story of Seasons manager Hikaru Nakano stated, "We put a lot of effort into the event scenes for reaching different relationship levels with the NPCs, so that's something that we want players to enjoy. We started working more on the immersiveness of the event scenes and pioneers of Olive Town, and we have continued to iterate and improve upon them in Grand Bazaar. So event scenes are more immersive and dynamic. They're fully voiced now for the first time and can really make you feel like you're stepping into the character and role-playing in this world." I don't want to say which character I'm referring to here, but when I watch the event scenes with my favorite character, it's really immersive and can make you feel like you're actually in a relationship with that character. I can feel more moved experiencing these event scenes than I have for other characters in previous games comparatively. So that's something that I hope players are really able to enjoy in this release. Another beloved feature of this game, like so many others in the past, is the presence of rival heart events. For those unfamiliar with rival events, these are events that take place when you reach a certain heart level with others, usually of the opposite gender when same-sex marriage was not an option in-game. Rival events happen when certain conditions are met, such as time of day and weather conditions. In some games, they may be detrimental to the player's romantic pursuits, resulting in a marriage between the character the player has their eye on with one of the other eligible characters. In this game, rival events do occur, but rival marriage does not. Since marriage is an option no matter their gender, you can likely unlock all heart scenes and rival events in the new game. From the previews and trailers, we do get a glimpse at some of the visitors to the Bazaar hailing from other lands in the Story of Seasons universe. Familiar faces like Ronald, or Ronaldo, from Save the Homeland, Hero of Leaf Valley, and Magical Melody. Wufio, the most tragic bachelor in the series, seen in Story of Seasons and Trio of Towns. Pierre, who is a cute little foodie who judges the cooking contests. Charles from Hero of Leaf Valley, who many are very upset they don't get to marry, I would just like to say. He works as a bodyguard for Alice, who works for Leisureland, a corporation trying to make Leaf Valley into an amusement park. Maybe we'll see Alice because he is her bodyguard. I'm very curious as to why Charles is there, because maybe with Diana being a part of this committee, maybe there is a reason that a committee has to be made, because maybe they're going to come and take over this land. Charles. Rebecca from A New Beginning. She's the owner of Rebecca's Designs, where she sells basic construction materials and blueprints in the other games. So she has a stall on this one, and maybe it'll be something similar. And Ganon, who makes a return to the Bazaar as well. And I do so love that they kept his quirky character design. I know a lot of people were upset whenever they redesigned characters from the past games and made them kind of boring, so it's good to see. One of my favorite parts of these games is the festivals and town events. The original game had 13 total, some of which were not available until after your first year. I noticed that there wasn't a harvest goddess in this game, which it's kind of a red flag for me. It made me kind of wonder what the Flower Festival was doing on Spring 8th, the original goddess's birthday. The Flower Festival is a bit different in this game, as it is a competition for flower collecting rather than celebrating the harvest goddess's birthday, because she loves flowers. Everyone knows that, unless you don't, because you don't have one. There was a new festival for spring called the Tea Party, which was done without harvest sprites this time. Another red flag for me. Festivals like the Animal Festival and Horse Race are standard fare, although summer was a weird time for horse races based on real-life horse derbies. There was a fall cooking festival that lasted for 2 days, and that's where Pierre showed up. There was a wine festival, which was a new event, and a pumpkin festival on fall 31st, of course. Can't just say it's Halloween. It's got to be a pumpkin festival. And the coolest, in my opinion, a snowboard contest. This is unique for any of these games, and I really hope it makes a return to the remaster. Winter was also the main season for ore collection, since the old game removed mining and replaced it with random ore veins and rocks in the wild. It appears this will be a year-round addition to the new game. Now, I did mention the Tea Party with the Harvest sprites from games past. There were not sprites in the Harvest Moon Grand Bazaar game, but now there are 5 new sprites known as nature sprites, probably because they don't have a harvest goddess, so I don't know. But they're added to the new game. They have designs that seem to indicate what they share, maybe, since there is a new sharing feature, but I'm not really sure, you know, what the bounds of that are. We do see them do this thing at the bazaar called cheer time. Players can gain their support by helping others set up stalls, and once the cheer meter is filled, the sprites will join the sales team, boosting sales speed and potentially increasing prices. Thank you, Google. One last note, there is a bug catching system in this game. Like in Tale of Two Towns, there were requests, and sometimes they had specific bugs or fish that people wanted, and they would reward you for bringing those specific creatures to them. I believe there will be a familiar system in place in this game, which is really exciting. I do like that. A few last notes. Gonna make this last bit quick. So I noticed the reflection in the water. Nice. Fast travel? Looks like it. Also, storage bins are spread out around for easier access, which could be handy if you get busy traveling too far from home, ran out of space in your bag, perhaps forgot an item at home. I love and hate this. It's very convenient. No further comment. As a quick overview of the villagers, Felix is the mayor. He's hot-blooded and really is very passionate about the bazaar and about the town, and he wants to make everything just the best for his people.
Let us all do our part to breathe some life back into this bazaar and make it the grandest bazaar anyone's ever seen!
He's also very emotional, and we love it because he's so different from the mayors of the past, and he's a breath of fresh air, truly. He's also the father of Sophie, who used to be Sherry. Miguel, who is one of a trio of merchant brothers. He used to be Raul. Personable and proud of his business. He loves making a sale. He actually is someone that you will need to visit a lot because he has a lot of good stuff that you need. There's actually a lot of people who were upset about how his character redesign, because everyone's like, what is this? Why did they take away this? Why does he look different? So I'll just let the screenshots speak for themselves here. But yeah, I just wanted to mention there's like mixed views on the old character design, and then at the same time there's mixed reviews and feelings on the new remastered version. And I think it's funny because I think they were trying to redesign his character to be less offensive in some way, or like stereotypical or whatever, as one of these comments said, but it also ended up being like, well, what the heck, they just took away his design. Now he's not even like representing us very well anymore. I don't know. So I've heard different things. I just wanted to throw that out there and get your opinion on it as well. So if you have any hot-blooded opinions or whatever, we want to hear it. So put that in the comments, please. Okay. Then there's Eric, formerly known as Claude. I think his redesign is way better, and he is a beautiful man, and people are pretty upset that they can't marry him. But, you know, I understand he is the father of June, so it'd be kind of weird if you could marry if you could marry her or her dad. I don't know. It's kind of it's just a little problematic, I think. You shouldn't be able to have a romance event and then she becomes your stepdaughter. But, you know, I don't make the game, so don't be mad at me. I just play the game. I just play. So then you have Stuart and Sonia, or Sonia, however you want to say it. They own the hotel or the inn, and they're actually pretty close to Maple, who works at the hotel. So she works for them, and they treat her like their own granddaughter. So that's kind of cool. They were known as Stuart and Ethel in the old game. Okay, and then we have Madeline, and Mina. She used to be Marion. Everyone wants to marry her, even me. So it was Joan and Marion in the old game. They own the cafe, so they're always working in there. They run a stall at the bazaar as well, and they actually win a lot because people always want to eat their food. So then you have Wilbur, Clara, and Kevin. Wilbur is the town carpenter. He's this burly, almost like Western looking kind of character. He's kind of gruff and whatever, but he is important for you to talk to and be friends with. Clara is Kevin's mother, and when she's not busy messing with him, she's usually over there gossiping with Nadine, who used to be, I think, Nellie, and they would just sit there and gossip, and I love that, but also hate it because it's like, why are there always these like two old biddies who just are like, I hate my life because my husband sucks. And then there's Kevin, who is a mischievous young prankster, constantly scolded for scheming new tricks. And in my opinion, I know they're trying to just remaster from the old outfits and stuff, but this is all I see when I look at Kevin. And sorry, but no, I don't. I'm not a fan. Like, I'm just like, because of that. And then you have Isaac, Nadine, Sylvia, and Lori, which I'm kind of like, why did you have to change all their names? But whatever. So Isaac is kind of important for you because he maintains all the windmills. So he actually opens, I think, 2 of them for you in the original game. And he just seems like a nice old dude. I don't know. He's just kind of like, I'm good with mechanics or whatever. So he kind of runs that show. And then you've got his wife, Nadine, who was Nellie, and she kind of just looks laissez-faire, like, she seems kind of like a sleepy type. I don't know. But she is described as the calm, refined housewife. She is the mother of Sylvia and Lori, and she loves offering good food and gossiping. She loves gossiping. Then Sylvia is the outgoing twin sister, so she's got the kind of like, she's kind of the leader of the two. Her curiosity knows no bounds, and she's always eager to talk. Lori is the shy twin sister, and she comes out of her shell around her sister and her friend Kevin, so that's good. So I guess we'll end it there. That's all I have today. So if you enjoyed this, please give it a like, and if you want to subscribe, please do. I haven't been very active in a while, so it's really good to be back and making videos again. It feels great. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you have any thoughts or additions, or if you want to fix any mistakes I made, then go ahead and leave a comment, please. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I can't wait for the new game. I hope you guys are doing well. I know things are kind of rough out there, so I know a lot of us are looking forward to having this game to kind of like escape and relax and get cozy. So I hope to see you soon. See you in the next one. Bye.